What if Satoru Gojo had escaped the prison realm, not after 19 days, like in the original timeline, but 68 years later? Imagine this scene. To the outside world, decades have passed. Governments have fallen, society as we know it has ceased to exist, and aliens have descended from space to take over Earth. But for Gojo, for him, trapped in that strange dimension where time doesn't flow, all of this lasted just an instant. It was like a blink of an eye. 1 second, he was being sealed in the Shibuya subway on the 31st of October 2018. And the next second, he wakes up in a completely destroyed future in the year 2086. He spent 68 years locked in a dark place. No day, no night. Just him, alone with his own consciousness and absolute silence. Could his mind withstand 68 years of absolute void? Does the infinity still work against alien tech from 2086? How will he react when he finds out everyone he loved is already dead? And the big question, did he come back as humanity's salvation or its definitive end? Intro, I'm Shoyo, and today we're doing a deep dive into this theory. What would be left of Satoru Gojo after nearly a century of isolation? Suddenly waking up in this chaotic Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo world? What happens when the strongest sorcerer becomes an ancient relic on a board dominated by aliens called Simurians, led by a Yuji Itadori who has forgotten what it means to be human? But before we embark on this time travel journey, you know the drill. Smash that subscribe button and hit the like to support the channel. For this story to make sense, we gotta break down how the prison realm works and why things went so south in this alternate module future. The cube holding Gojo has two exits, the front gate, which Kenjaku had, and the back gate, hidden and protected by Master Tengen. In the manga, we know the seal is broken by Angel's technique, Hanakurusu. But in this timeline, a different tragedy strikes. Sukuna kills Angel immediately after taking over Megumi Fushiguro's body. With the special grade tools destroyed and Angel gone, the only key capable of opening the prison ceases to exist. The result? Catastrophic. Gojo never returns for the final showdown in Shinjuku. Without Satoru Gojo to balance the scales, history changes completely. Kenjaku tries to execute that giant merger with humanity, but instead of birthing a cursed energy monster, the massive energy from the fusion rips the sky open. It acts like a beacon, attracting a massive alien mothership, the Non-Ax, bringing the Sumerian invaders to Earth. Amidst this confusion and total destruction, the prison realm, with Gojo inside, ends up lost in the rubble of a devastated Tokyo. The cube is buried under tons of concrete and just sits there, forgotten by everyone, while the remaining humans fight just to survive against the space invaders. The mechanics of the seal and the villain's fate, just to recap so no one gets lost. The prison realm became a safe without a code. With Angel killed by Sukuna, the only chance to open it vanished. The front gate was lost in the war. So Gojo wasn't trapped for 19 days like in the canon. Effectively, he was trapped for much, much longer. But the big question you guys probably have is, if Gojo didn't come back, where are the big bads? Sukuna and Kenjaku in the year 2086. Kenjaku, he tried to join forces with the aliens, thinking he could manipulate them, but that backfired hard. The Sumerians' biology is based on science and machines. It's totally different from ours and doesn't mesh with Jujutsu. Kenjaku ended up being killed by the very chaos he created, eliminated by the invaders, like he was just a glitch or a bug with zero glory. Sukuna. He disappeared out of sheer boredom, and without Gojo to give him a good fight, the King of Curses lost the will to live in that era. Without strong enemies or entertainment in this age of aliens, he made a binding vow to hibernate. He decided to turn his body into cursed objects again and sleep until the world got interesting and chaotic once more. So, the cube stayed there, buried in the dirt and ruins for 68 years. The Awakening, 2086. Fast forward to 2086, that's when the shift happens. The energy from the alien technology, which was saturating the Japanese soil, clashed head-on with the old, degrading magic of the seal. The cube couldn't handle the pressure, and the door opened. Inside the cube, Gojo's body didn't age a single day, but his mind, it stayed awake, processing everything. Now, let's look at the first scenario of this awakening. Scenario 1, the War of Powers. In this first scenario, the focus is pure action. What happens when ancient sorcery, considered obsolete, clashes with the supreme technology of 2086? As soon as the seal opens, the Sumerians would detect Gojo's massive energy signature immediately and send in their elite units. Here, Gojo would show why he is the exception to the rule. no matter the era. Alien technology follows the laws of physics, right? Well, Gojo's infinity controls and distorts the laws of physics. We would see some absurd, visually insane scenes, powerful attacks capable of leveling buildings and cities being fired at Gojo only to stop 1 inch from his face, frozen in infinity. Even Dabura, the Sumerian leader, would try to use his third eye for a devastating psychic attack, but Gojo's brain, constantly refreshed by reverse curse technique, RCT, would nullify the mental invasion instantly. The battle would be a one-sided massacre. Gojo would crush fighter jets in the sky like they were made of paper and repel orbital strikes with a simple flick of his wrist. Imagine Gojo flying up to the stratosphere, staring down the giant mothership covering the city. He clasps his hands and says, "Imaginary technique, hollow purple." The attack wouldn't just destroy the entire enemy fleet. It would punch a hole through the main ship's armor, something not even humanity's nukes could achieve in years of war. The biggest irony would be this: the most advanced technology in the universe being humiliated by a sorcerer from the past. Gojo would become the ultimate weapon, fighting not for the balance of the Jujutsu world, but to avenge the memory of humanity, becoming a god in this new world. Scenario 2, the fractured mind and the immortal god, the real outcome. Finally, we have the second scenario, the bonus, and in my opinion, the most realistic and disturbing one. This focuses on psychology and the deep lore of the module. Let's go back to the moment of awakening. In chapter 221, it's stated that physical time doesn't pass inside the prison realm. You don't feel hunger or sleep, you just exist. Existence is purely consciousness. In an interview, Gege Akutami said, if Gojo thought too much inside there, he'd go crazy. So he does everything to keep his mind empty. That worked for 19 days. But imagine keeping your mind empty for 68 years. It's impossible. Human sanity, even that of an enlightened being like Gojo, has limits. If he were sealed for almost a century, it's almost certain he would lose his reason. He'd be trapped in memory loops, hallucinations of Ghetto, and distortions of reality. When the seal opens in 2086, the Gojo that steps out wouldn't be a hero. He would be cold, distant, and totally confused. He wouldn't be able to tell friend from foe anymore, or past from present. He wouldn't be hope. He'd be an immense danger, acting on impulse with a broken mind. Enter Yuji Itadori. In this version, Yuji is the only one of the old group who survived, but he's changed. Because of his powers, he stopped aging. He became an immortal, protecting Earth for decades. He carries the trauma of watching all his friends die of old age while he stayed young. Sensing Gojo's presence, Yuji would appear instantly, but it wouldn't be the Yuji we know. It would be a man over 80 years old in a young body with the tired eyes of someone who has seen too many wars. He would simply say, "Sensei, you're late." The meeting between this insane Gojo and the immortal Yuji would be the peak of the story. Gojo would look at Yuji and see what? Sukuna, the 5-year-old kid? Or just a monster? In this tragic scenario, Gojo's curse was being imprisoned, forcing Yuji to stay alone, carrying the burden of being the strongest for 68 years. Gojo, completely unstable, could start destroying everything. He'd use his powers to erase anything in front of him, not out of malice, but because the world doesn't make sense in his head anymore. The final battle would be inevitable. Gojo's infinite power versus Yuji's resilience. Yuji would have to make the hardest decision of his life. Fight to kill the only person linking him to the past, or let Gojo destroy the little that's left of Earth. If Yuji wins, he continues his eternal cycle of loneliness, now with zero hope of seeing his teacher again. If Gojo wins, he remains in an empty world, since everyone he loved died centuries ago. He would be a god wandering through ruins with no purpose, condemned to live in his memories until his body, finally mortal outside the cube, succumbs to time. In this tragic ending, Gojo doesn't save humanity, he becomes its end. The strongest sorcerer turns into the god of destruction, closing the book on Earth's history. That is the great tragedy of this version. A man with divine power, defeated by the only thing he couldn't beat, time. Outro, what about you? Do you think Gojo's mind would hold up? Would he team up with Yuji or destroy the world? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'll be reading all of them, and leave some suggestions for future video ideas too. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.